Gilbert Burns did an interview. He was talking about his UFC contract, talking about where he stands, and he was talking about a conversation that he had with Dana that really helped to put a Band-Aid on the pain of losing his fight to Chimaev. It was very simple, and Gilbert just said, I talked to Dana, he loved the fight, he congratulated me, and he told me my next fight will be a big fight. I'm really excited for that. Now, I want to ask you guys, are you going to give him a big fight? Dana doesn't have a big fight to give out. I mean, just so you understand. Dana has some hard fights to give out, and he has impressive placements on the card, but he didn't have a big fight to give it. You guys do. Question is, are you guys going to get behind Gilbert? Are you guys going to show Gilbert the respect? Are you guys going to encourage him? Are you guys going to tune in and support him? And if so, against who? I mean, really got to understand that. Dana can do what he can do, which is to give an opportunity. He can have a beautiful placement on the card. He can put a lot of the marketing dollars behind you. And he can do what he feels in the gut as the smartest guy in this business to make a big fight. But that's up to you guys. Are you going to give Gilbert a big fight? And who do you give it against? Because I think there's some very compelling options there for Gilbert Burns. If you were to guarantee somebody a big fight, right? I'm telling, he doesn't have the power, and that's up to you guys. But that's not completely true. You could bring in Conor McGregor, boom, he just guaranteed somebody a big fight. Could also bring in George Masvidal, who happens to have nothing to do. Now, this is not a rule within our sport, but it is a policy. In a broad stroke, if you looked at the last 25 years, you'd be pretty safe to come to the conclusion that a guy coming off a win takes on another guy coming off a win, and a guy coming off a loss takes on another guy coming off a loss. And I don't know that there was very many scenarios 1 month ago that I would buy into the idea that Gilbert Burns was going to take on Masvidal. But I do now. Gilbert Burns has called for that fight. He has said, I wanted Masvidal. Gilbert Burns, in the history of this sport, has gotten one thing that he wanted. And he went through hell to get that, and that was a world title fight. He did not want to fight Kamaru Usman specifically. He wanted to fight for the world championship. He didn't care if that was going to be T-Wood. He didn't care if Darren Till came in there, grabbed the strap. He didn't care if Kamaru got upset or if Kamaru had wanted to fight for the championship. But he went through hell to get it. To fight 4 guys in 1 year to earn the opportunity and the respect. That's the only thing he's ever gotten. Every time Gilbert calls for a fight, it makes sense. He called for Colby Covington. That makes sense. I just don't know within the policy of a guy coming off a win. I don't know how that works. I don't know that we need to be hard and fast to that. By the way, I have to remind myself that Gilbert didn't get his hand raised, just like I got to remind myself that Chandler lost to Gaethje. I didn't see a loser there. I saw time run out and somebody, right? I mean, it's one of those things. I don't talk that way. I'm a competitive guy. Of course there's a winner. Of course there's a loser. Well, most of the time, yeah, absolutely, that's true. But I don't know if we have to lock into that policy, but let's say that we do. If we do lock into that, and the boss is saying, I'm going to do the best that I can to have the audience buy in to make whatever you do next be big, I think that's a good idea. Masvidal's a good idea. And Gilbert Burns has asked for Masvidal in the past. And I do have to come back to the fact that Gilbert Burns has done a lot of favors. He's done a lot of heavy lifting, and I've never seen anything done for him. Even I will give credit to the fact that he was given a world title fight. But I will remind you, he went through 4 guys, including the previous world champion, to get it's hard. Not to mention he did it in the middle of a pandemic. Not to mention he did some of those 4 on short notice because other guys weren't willing to do it. Couldn't get the training, didn't want to do the training. Whatever it was, whatever their excuse was, Gilbert didn't have it. Oh, and by the way, in the interim, on off weekends, he's catching competitive grappling matches. I mean, this guy was doing whatever it was going to take to get the mandate of the masses, and that's you guys. Which is why I'm asking you guys, are you going to back Dana up on this? Are you going to help? Are you going to make it a big fight? If so, it would be fair to you that you have the other piece of the puzzle, which is against who? Possibly the very first thing we have to establish, and of the 5 W's, who, what, when, why, and where, probably the most important. Who? We can get the when, why, and where another time. Got to really know. And I think that Masvidal solves it. I don't think Masvidal has ever said no to Gilbert, by the way. I don't think Masvidal would say no to Gilbert, by the way. I don't think Masvidal has ever been offered Gilbert. I don't know that he's ever considered Gilbert. Masvidal has said specifically that he's going to go to Pennsylvania. He's going to work on his wrestling. He doesn't need to jump right in there. One of the sport's best wrestlers, but to be in there with a good, respected grappler seems like something that Masvidal wants to do right now. I'm just floating the idea. You guys, if you got something better, throw it back at me. But we do have to unanimously come up with some kind of an opponent if we're going to make good on the commitment that it's going to be a big fight, because ultimately you guys are the ones that decide.